Hey everyone, this is Miss Valentine and welcome back to our classroom. Today I'm going to present some of the expectations and rules of being in the classroom. There are some special ones just for the pandemic conditions that we have, so we'll go through those, and I have a Nearpod presentation that you can follow along with on your device while this video is playing. So open Nearpod on your device and enter the code that Miss Valentine gives you. She's going to pause the video. Listen to me talking to myself in third person. I'm going to open the video or pause the video so you can write down the code. All right, now that you are in Nearpod, you will be able to answer the pit stop questions when we get to them. Right now, I want you to focus on copying in the blanks that are on your piece of paper, your notes handout, as we go through the slide presentation. So the classroom materials that you're going to need include your laptop or Chromebook if you don't have one to bring to school. I'm hoping to have some that we can use during the school day, but the administration is still working all of those available Chromebooks out. So a smartphone will work just fine. It's just not going to work as well when you're trying to do independent work. Earbuds or headphones are going to be important for when you are working on things on your own. The 3-ring binder or folder for this class only is important because I want you to keep all of your materials for just this class in one place. Even if it's not super organized in your folder, at least it's all for just this class. Bring your own pencil or blue or black pen. I have some little tiny itty bitty golf pencils that you can borrow, but I don't want those back. It's much better to bring your own writing utensil. Bring notebook paper. The Plicker card, I'm going to pass those out while the video is playing here. Everyone has a Plicker card for the beginning of class, and we will actually practice with those in a few minutes here, but you'll need to bring that every single day. And then also bring the daily log paper. The one that you picked up by the door today will be turned in on Friday, but normally you'll pick those up on Mondays. So bring that every single day because you're going to fill it out every single day. So how is all of this going to work being back in school? We are flipping this class. What that means is that the assignments that are done in school can also be done from home. The reason I'm doing this is to make sure that no one is coming to school because they're worried about missing something in my class. So you will not miss anything in this class that you can't make up at home. So that's why we're going to just basically do the same thing at school as you would be at home. So both cohorts A and cohort B will be on the same schedule. So you'll be working on the same assignments except for daily logs. Daily logs will only be done when you are in school. So I have some things set up to help us have a more safe workspace. When you approached the door today, you would have seen the wipes sitting on the desk right outside the door. It looks kind of empty with just one pack of wipes on there, but who knows, we might fill that table up with other things. But on your way in, you are going to pick up a wipe so that you can wipe down your desk, chair, or the divider window if you choose to use it. I want you to keep the wipe at your desk until the traffic in the classroom slows down. You can throw it into the trash. There's 2 trash cans up front, including one that's right by the door, so you can even throw it away on your way out. But just make sure you're not getting up out of your seat if there's a lot of traffic so that we don't have a lot of close contact. And then at the end of class, I ask that you please adjust your desk based on where the orange tape is on the floor. You can see in the picture there that everybody has orange tape in front of them. In fact, go ahead and look at your desk right now. It's really important this year that we keep the desks where they are because it is spaced out to be 6 feet apart. So please, at the end of class, I will try to remind you, but line up the front of your desk with the orange tape. I also have a class set of textbooks that you may use while you are there. There are no lockers this year, and I understand that some of you want to use the hard copy textbooks. So the remaining copies that I have are stacked in the back, and I want you guys to pick it up out of the new pile and then return it to the used pile. And what I'm just going to do is flip these signs every day so that the used pile will become the new pile the next day. I believe COVID-19 survives on paper for several, or I'm not sure, I think it's like 2 to 4 hours. So ideally, if we stick to this system, nobody will be using a book with virus on it. Like I said, the stack is on the back lab counter on the right side of the room. I will walk over and point that out to you during class. Okay, so your daily log, like I said before, is new every Monday, and this is when you are in school only. When you are at home doing distance learning, you do not need to do a daily log. You're going to fill it out at the beginning of class each day, and then turn it in every Friday, once again, only when you are in school. Let me go back there. I'm sure you guys are copying that down. So pick it up on Monday, fill it out at the beginning of class every day, and turn it in every Friday. The daily log has 4 parts. The objective is what we're learning that day. The bell work is a question that you will answer before class starts, like you did today. And we are going to use the Plickers to help us with that whole bell work process, and we'll demonstrate that in just a moment. The assignments are what we are working on today, and then I also sometimes have some reminders for what's coming due in the near future. The daily summary on the back of the daily log paper is just space for video notes or other things for you to write when I ask you to fill it in. So I'm having you write down that part when Miss V asks you to fill it in, because a lot of people will write a daily summary every single day, but you don't need to do that. Leave that space blank unless I tell you to write something on the back. Here's what a daily log will normally look like when you come into the classroom. And you'll notice that I've added a few things, including the fact that we're going outside tomorrow. And I added some answer choices, which we will use when we practice with Plickers. So pause the video here and we will practice that here in class. The daily log does include a few little quirks that need to be done so you don't lose points. It's important to make sure that you put the dates on the left side. If you don't have any dates and it's in the objective section, I'll take 2 points away for not having those. And you just need one date. The first date of the week is fine. And then also make sure you are writing out the whole question and the whole answer for the bell work. Some people will just write their letter choice, A, B, C, or D. You need to write out the entire answer. You don't even have to include the A, B, C, or D part. But make sure you do those so you don't lose points on your daily log. And here we are at our first pit stop question. You will answer this on the Nearpod screen, and Miss V, or I will pause the video to give you a moment to write your answer in for this. When do you fill in your daily log? Let's talk a little bit now about what you will do if you are absent during a week that you were supposed to be in the classroom with your cohort. So if you're staying home sick, you will need to do the daily log if it is your cohort week. The first thing that you're going to do, you'll see it on the poster over on the side wall, that's the picture that I have here, is to copy the daily log. And this year, I'm not going to have any binders like I normally do holding the old daily logs. You are going to find the daily log in the file at the top of Schoology. So I have all of our folders, our weekly folders here, you can see, the election folder here. These are the little buttons at the top. I'm going to have daily logs right at the top so you can find them easily. So you copy the daily log from the day that you missed, or day or days that you missed, and then you will pick up any paper assignments from the shelves in the front of the room, or you can also print them from Schoology. So if you don't come back that week and you don't want to wait for the papers, you can print them on Schoology as well. You'll see here there are days of the week shelves, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So for the days of the week that you missed, you'll pick those up, and then anything older is actually going to be placed in this file thing right to the right of those shelves. The third thing you're going to do is write absent and the date at the top of the assignment. So you would write absent 8/16, I guess it's 9/23, so or 9/30, whatever the date is that you are absent. You write that at the top so that I can check the attendance. And then you are going to turn in work within 3 days of coming back. Now, I know this is going to be kind of difficult with us switching in every other week, so I'm going to be a little bit more lenient with that. But I don't want something that you had absent at the beginning of the quarter being turned in at the end of the quarter. I want to be able to grade it relatively soon after it has the due date. So these 4 steps are on your quiz, the Back to the Classroom quiz that you are doing. But like I showed you before, there's a poster on the side of the room, so feel free to refer to that. And if you come in from being absent and ask me what you missed, most likely I will just point to this poster so that you know exactly what you need to do to get the assignments and get caught up. It's your responsibility to get any of the assignments that you missed when you were absent. And like I've mentioned all throughout the year, late work is not accepted unless you turn it in with a late pass. Today you are going to get 2 more late passes in addition to the 3 that you already had while we were in distance learning. The exception is daily logs. I will always take those without a late pass because oftentimes people who are absent on Fridays forget to turn them in, and then it takes forever for them to finally realize that they're missing. So no late pass is needed for daily logs. That's the only exception. Valentine passes are multi-purpose passes, and since we are in an every other week model, you're going to be given 2 passes for each quarter. I normally give 3, but it's 2 for this year. They can be used for restroom or water breaks, late assignments, and that is for paper assignments only. You already have the 3 digital late passes. In the case of late assignments on paper, I want you to staple the Valentine pass to the back of your late work, and then you'll just turn it into the basket. If you have Valentine passes at the end of the quarter, you may use those in the following quarter, or you can turn it in for extra credit. Sometimes at the end of the year, people will turn in a bunch of Valentine passes all at the end of the year. You will have the opportunity to earn more passes by signing up for classroom jobs, and I plan to have the classroom jobs survey ready for you guys to go by next week. You can borrow a Valentine pass from a classmate to use the restroom or go out in the hall for a hall pass, but not for late homework or extra credit. All right, to turn in assignments, you will turn them in electronically electronically on Schoology or in the basket labeled with your class period. So you'll see in the front of the room, there are 2 baskets. One is for first period and one is for ninth period. So you'll put your papers in the basket when you finish. And they're conveniently located in the front of the room. So if you don't want to get up in the middle of class, you can just wait till the end of class if you have something to turn in and turn it in on your way out. To check your graded papers, there is a file cabinet. I've moved it to the front of my room this year. So you can see here, there's a sign that says pick up graded assignments here, and first and ninth period are right here. Mr. Lackey might be using these drawers down here. So you guys are gonna only open the top filing cabinet drawer. And inside you will find your own folder in this drawer. The papers are filed after they're entered in PowerSchool. So sometimes you may be looking for a paper that hasn't been graded yet. It's kind of a process. So once they are completely graded, processed, and I'm done with them, you will find them in that file cabinet up front. Here we are at another pit stop. So I'm going to pause the video here and switch to Nearpod. This is where you will answer these questions. The first question is, what can a Valentine pass be used for? All right, so that was a lot of pit stop questions. We only have a few more left before the end of the period. Any questions at this point before we move on to our classroom rules? All right, so class rules. I am going to enforce all of Westerville South's rules, but here are my top 10, and some of these are very specific to this year, including the first rule. You do need to have your mask on at all times when we are indoors. It needs to be over your nose and your mouth. So a lot of people like to sag and have their nose just barely peeking out. There is air exiting out of your nose. I don't know if people really think that they are protected and safe in that way, but this is not okay. You need to have it over top of your nose. And honestly, we'll all get used to this whole mask thing. So even if you're resisting by having it right under here, just put it over your nose so you can protect those around you and their grandparents at home. Be on time. I know that the one-way hallways are going to present an issue, but after the first few days, I am going to enforce the tardiness rule at school, and there are 2 warnings, and then the third late is a detention. So I most likely will start this the following week, the next time that you are in class. Being on time means that you are in your seat or on your way there right after the bell rings. If you are up walking around talking to people, which you shouldn't be anyway, you will be marked tardy, even if you are in the classroom. So just make sure once you hear that bell that you are heading towards your seat to start class. Cell phone use is going to be unique this year, especially since we have a lot of independent work time. You may use your cell phone in class during independent work time. So anytime that I am talking or you should be paying attention elsewhere, I don't want to see your cell phone out. However, a lot of time in class this year is going to be independent work time. If you're texting or gaming or using social media apps in excess, you'll earn a loss of weekly participation points. In fact, I take away 2 points for every time I see you out using your cell phone in a way that you aren't supposed to be doing in class. Um, you could earn a detention if it is an ongoing problem. I don't collect cell phones this year just out of the health concerns, but normally I would take a cell phone if someone's really having trouble focusing during class. But my goal is that you will be able to help yourself focus and use it in the way that you need to use it, either for music or if you're using it in order to access the class material, that is fine, of course. No eating or drinking in class, just bottled water. And this is a rule for all classes except for first period, because first period, I know that some people may be getting their lunch or I'm sorry, their breakfast from the cafeteria it's just early. So if you want to have coffee or have breakfast in the classroom, you can do that. I just ask that maybe you have the divider up on your desk so that you are not going without a mask with others around. No gum, and I wouldn't put your hands on the bottom of the desk either. There are some gum remnants on the bottom of some of our desks. So here is our next pit stop. We will pause the video here and go to Nearpod. What is the only food or drink that you can have in class? All right, another class rule is to stay in your assigned seat at all times. If you finished your work for the day, you should work on a word search or work on something for another class in your own seat. I have some coloring papers in the front of the room if you'd like to have one of those, but you'll need to use your own colored pencils since we aren't sharing those types of supplies this year. Watch your language. I know that things slip sometimes, but pretend that I'm your grandmother, unless your grandmother curses like a sailor. But please just watch your language around me. It gets a little bit annoying when I hear a lot of trash talk going on around me. No sleeping, and I especially wouldn't want you sleeping on the desks here this year, just with our concern over the cleanliness of surfaces. Remember to respect yourselves and others. I believe this is a similar rule to what I have on our digital class rules. You don't have to agree with people, but you do have to respect them. And in most cases, if you show respect, you'll receive it in return as well. And then believe in yourself. Some of us are a little bit behind on our digital work, but please know I'm willing to work with you. And if you put your mind to it, you can succeed in this class. You can get caught up. We will get into this new transition back to the classroom, and hopefully, even with our distance weeks, we'll learn to stay caught up with our work. So I have high expectations for you, and you should have high expectations for yourself as well. Failure to follow the school or class rules could result in a number of different things. Every week, you guys are going to have weekly participation points, up to 10 points total, and I'll explain that a little bit more in a moment. If you are having a behavior problem in class, a phone problem, I might ask you to stay after class to have a student-teacher conference with me. If it's really bad, I call home. I may have you stay after class to help straighten up the classroom. That's usually if you leave trash behind. I ask you to do that the next day. I may also issue a detention. Losing your cell phone, I guess I won't really take it this year. So cross that one off. Referral to the administrator is the most extreme case, and I haven't had to do that in years. I hope that this year is another one where I do not have to refer you to the administrator. So here's our next pit stop. We will pause the video here and go to Nearpod. What are some of the possible consequences of breaking school or class rules? Weekly participation points are an opportunity for you to earn just some extra cushion, extra points, just for being a good person, just for being a good student in class. As long as you are on time, on task, and you're respectful to others, you'll just earn, boom, 10 points, easy peasy. So the points could be lost, though, if you are late to class, if you have off-task behavior, if you're not doing your work, or if you're distracting others. Um, if you have irresponsible cell phone use, like I mentioned before, that's a 2-point deduction. If your music is too loud, I oftentimes will ask you to turn it down, but you're also going to lose a participation point for that as well. So just keep your music at a volume that's not going to disturb other people. A disruption or talking over others or improper mask wearing will also lose, or you'll earn deductions as well. And then if you leave trash or other items at your desk, like let's say you borrowed a class Chromebook, if you leave that stuff out and I have to clean up after you, you will lose points. And then also I will probably ask you to stay after class the next day to clean stuff up. After the first time of giving you a warning about something, I don't always give you a warning when you lose points. I get really tired of asking people to put their phone away or whatever it is that I'm warning them about. So if you ever, or if you see me writing on my seating chart, usually it's a deduction for some points. So, and especially if I'm looking at you, that's probably a good sign that you're losing some points at that time. If you ever want to know why you lost points, just ask, because I do record that on the seating chart and I'd be happy to share that information with you. So I am here for you guys. I'm more than willing to help you. This is a very strange year, and I really do want you to be successful. So talk to me in class. You can email me or visit my room after school as well. I'll make myself available to you when you need it. If you have not signed up for Remind Text, I do recommend it. I think about half the class has signed up for it. So feel free to take your cell phone out now, and I will pause the video so that you can sign up for text reminders. Just keep in mind that you are responsible for all of your assignments, even when I don't send a text reminder. This year, I haven't been sending a lot of text reminders. It's for just certain things here or there. And since we are probably going to be going outside for some activities, that is going to be an important tool to have. I might be able to remind you that, hey, we got to go back into the school so you don't miss your next class. So signing up for the Remind will help you with that. But for the most part, you guys are tracking your assignments through Schoology in the right column where the due dates are. Any questions before we wrap up here? Your Back to the Classroom quiz is due on Sunday. And for these notes, I'm not going to have you turn them in. I just want you to use these notes to help you on that Back to the Classroom quiz. You can write that down at the bottom of your handout, on your notes handout, just to remind you to have that done by Sunday. Again, welcome back to class. I'm happy to have you guys here and to finally meet many of you. I will turn things over now to Classroom Miss Valentine, and I hope I'm pointing the right direction to where she's standing. She might need to move, and I'll stop talking about myself in the third person now.